Hello, you amazing human beings. How are you? I hope this finds you well. I am trying to follow on something that I've started over the last couple of years into 2024, and I don't really know how to word it, I suppose. Basically, what I want is to reduce my screen time on my phone and dramatically reduce it, I guess. I want it to be a habit that I don't scroll so much on my phone anymore. So I am going to be hopefully doing these videos where I look through my screen time every couple of months so you can see whether or not I've had any changes, what's been good, what's been bad, that sort of thing. So if there's something you want to do, you can join with me and see how it's going, and we could do it together, which I think would be really nice and really fun. But mostly I'm doing this for my mental health and for my sleep, okay? For my sleep. So the reasons I'm doing this is back in 2022, I really suffered with depression and my mental health was in a really bad place. And so with the help of my husband and my therapist, I tried to set some better boundaries around scrolling, and I get my husband's hand-me-down iPhones basically, and I feel really lucky that I get that because I can go into the settings and I can set like time limits on apps, which I have all social media is set to a 30-minute time limit every day. So I do go over that, especially on Instagram some days, but I generally stay within the boundary as much as possible. And I would quite like to reduce that a bit more this year if possible. I also spent a lot of time on my phone reading. I will show you the January stats so you can see. But I was very lucky in 2020 for our wedding anniversary. My husband gifted me a new Kindle because I had a Kindle keyboard and it died, and I wanted to try and get off reading off my phone. However, that didn't work out very well until this year, 24. I've made some other changes. I've asked for some birthday presents that will help make reading on my Kindle so much easier because I read a lot. What I do is I don't really watch a lot. I don't watch any TV, okay? Not a lot of TV. I don't watch any TV. I just read, okay? I read about 200 books a year because I don't watch a lot of stuff. So reading is one of those things that's good for my mental health. It's good for me in general. I'm passionate about it. I really enjoy it. So I don't feel bad about the amount of time that I read, but I feel bad because that I haven't taken all the notifications off my phone because I need some of them, like text messages and family, friends, that sort of thing. And so when I'm reading, sometimes I will go out and then I will go into a text message and then I'll end up maybe scrolling Instagram when I shouldn't be, and maybe checking my emails when I shouldn't be, and doing stuff like that. So I would like to just dramatically reduce the screen time as much as possible basically on here. And what I've noticed that I use my phone the most for is obviously reading, Instagram, YouTube. I watch YouTube on my phone primarily in the bath, but I'm not really bothered about reducing that as much. And I can't remember what else. I haven't got it down to like a certain time limit or anything at the moment. I just want to look at and document how much time I'm actually spending on my phone and what are the ways that I can reduce that. And if you want to join in too, that would be fabulous and so much fun. And I think it would be a fun way to see how we are using our phones and technology in general. So right now I'm looking at my screen time from the very first week of January. I was still off that first week of January, so I was at home. It was very chill. My husband was back at work. He was very lucky and he got Christmas off instead of New Year's this year, which is different from what he normally has. So I was at home, I was off, and so my screen time reflects that. I was home alone, we don't have any children, we don't have any pets. I work from home in general anyway, I'm self-employed. So that first week of January, I spent 9 hours and 32 minutes on average a week on my phone. So I will show you all this data as well because I'm just recording this as I go through it. So it was up 29% from the previous week of Christmas, and as you can see, total screen time was 66 hours and 45 minutes, which that feels like a lot, but if we look at that, that is actually 40 hours and 5 minutes of information and reading. So I spent 40 hours out of those 66 hours doing information and reading. And then I spent 11 hours and 19 minutes on socials and 3 hours and 29 minutes on entertainment. So we were going to look at what all those means. And as you can see, I also, have my limits set up for Facebook, Threads, Instagram and TikTok, because that's the social media I use on my phone. I don't even think I've got Threads on my phone anymore, to be honest. So that limit probably doesn't need to be there, but I find them helpful. And yeah. So out of all that time that we just said, the 66 hours and the 30 something hours, 40 hours of information reading, I spent 36 hours on my Kindle, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that I spent 36 hours reading during that week. That's actually quite okay. I spent 5 hours and a minute on Safari, which is fine because I will go through my Goodreads sometimes on my Safari instead of using the actual app, because I don't think the Goodreads app is very good. And also, if I get ideas of things, I Google and search things in Safari all the time, so that's not an issue for me. Instagram is 4 hours and 38 minutes, so obviously that is over. And Facebook is 3 hours and 33 minutes, so that is just slightly over the time limit for the week. YouTube is 3 hours and 11 minutes. Like I said, I'm okay with the YouTube. 2 hours and 14 minutes in messages, which, isn't too bad really, because I don't text a lot of people. I just have my family and a few close friends that I text quite a lot. And Feedly is 1 hour and 11 minutes. I'm okay with that because I look at Feedly like in the morning and just read blog posts from people that I like and enjoy. So do you know what, I'm not feeling bad about that. In general, overall of that, it feels okay, I think. So yeah, we'll look at pickups, shall we? Because pickups is something that I don't really think about, to be honest. I did an average of 63 pickups of my phone, which was down 30% from last week, which that does make sense because Christmas and New Year's. So we did a lot of back and forth over Christmas, like FaceTime and text messages and stuff like that. We don't celebrate with family, we all celebrate differently. A lot of texting, a lot of, Merry Christmas, thank you for the presents, those sort of things. So I'm not surprised that, that's different. That's down from the previous week with Christmas. So Saturday had the most pickups at 88 pickups, 439 pickups in total. Safari's 140. Like I said, anytime I think of things, like if we're watching a film, I will Google people, where have we seen that person in a film, what's the other film they're in, and stuff like that. Birthday present ideas for my birthday was coming up, and just other random things, like I say, books and stuff. I picked my phone up 50 times and went to my Kindle. Okay with that. 40 times for messages, that's okay. And 13 times for Spotify, which that's fine too. I think usually that is when I'm going for a walk or something. There is notifications, but which were up 6% from the previous week, which is kind of funny. And the main ones were messages, weather, WhatsApp and YouTube. So yeah, not a big deal. Let's just very quickly go into the Kindle app and see a bit more detail in the Kindle app. So I did spend 36 hours and 57 minutes on my Kindle that week, and I did a daily average of 5 hours and 16 minutes on my Kindle. and yeah, that's okay. Safari was a daily average of 43 minutes. I think that's probably maybe a lot, but I was off that week, and like I say, my birthday's coming up, so everyone's already asking about birthday suggestions and ideas, so I was thinking through things. And I go back and forth between the Amazon app and looking at Amazon on my Safari app as well, so yeah. Instagram is over 39 minutes on the average, and if we just go back to the beginning of the week for the Kindle, Monday to Thursday are the days that I did the most reading. So my husband must have been at work and I must have been very engrossed in a new series or book. And you can see that on the Tuesday, that was the outliner for Instagram, because I spent the most time on the Tuesday and the Friday. There is always one day a week where I will overdo Instagram boundaries that I set myself. There is always one. I will, without fail, there is always a day. Facebook, Friday I went over my average, and the Monday technically I only did 30 minutes on average, so that was fine. I'm only averaging 27 minutes a day with YouTube. As you can see, the Thursday and the Friday I spent more time on it because I'll have had baths, and I think maybe the Monday I had a soak in the bath as well. There is messages, but like there was a lot more messaging on the Friday. And Feedly doesn't get a ton of use. And there is pickups to look at, like how many times I picked up per day or per week, but I'm not really bothered about that as such, I don't think. So yeah. You can also see them as the categories, so as information, reading, social, entertainment, and then you can go through those and see what they categorize those as. So I know my entertainment gets classed as like YouTube and Feedly and games when I play games on my phone, which I do have, which isn't always the best. But just very quickly, if we look back between the 25th of December and the 1st of January, I averaged 7 hours and 25 minutes on my phone, and I actually spent 51 hours and 55 minutes on my phone, and it was such a big thing that it broke it down into information reading as 14 hours and 46 minutes, and games as 9 hours 2 minutes, and social as 7 hours and 3 minutes, and games ended up in its own category for that one. So I think I spent a bit too much time playing a game on my phone. Yeah, Land Builder is what I play if you're interested. I spent 8 hours and 11 minutes, but that was like the end of December, so I don't feel too bad about it. But overall, that is my screen time for the first week of January. And going forward, like I said, I have plans for, I've asked my best friend for a present for my Kindle, so I can hopefully make the change from reading on my phone to reading on my Kindle a bit easier, like, you know, get a pop socket on the back of it so it makes holding it easier and swiping easier and stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna have a bigger think about what changes I can make to using my phone and how I can feel good about these changes that I want to make and spend less time on my phone, because like my phone isn't a bad thing. It's really amazing. As somebody with a chronic illness, it's amazing how connected it can make me feel and how it makes me feel less alone. But at the same time, they have been designed for us to spend so much time on them and to keep us scrolling and addicted and on these tiny little devices. Like I said, one of the reasons that I want to do this with my reading is because I primarily read in an afternoon and evening and bedtime, and I will go to bed with my husband. My husband sometimes gets up really early, so my husband generally goes to bed about 9 o'clock, so I'll go to bed with my husband. My husband's a morning person and I'm a night owl, so while he can get up at 5, 6, 7 a.m. fine, I can't do that. I'm not a morning person. and so he goes to bed at 9. He will go to sleep anywhere between 9 and 10, and I will probably not go to sleep anywhere before 10:30 unless I'm not feeling very well. And therefore I can get suckered into my book, and I try and have like my bedtime down as like 10:30, try and get off my phone to go to sleep. I've got my sleep mode set up on my phone and everything for that, but because I'm really engrossed in my book, sometimes I might keep going until 11 o'clock or midnight. And yes, there have been times when I've stayed up until like 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. reading, especially like on a Friday if I don't have any plans on the weekend and stuff, and that's fine, no judgment. But like my phone is a much brighter light than my Kindle, and it's a blue light, and that can make me feel more awake even when I'm like 11 o'clock, okay, we're finished my book, put it down, and then I still can't turn off because my brain's been buzzing because of the lights on my phone and the story that I was reading. So I need to get better at doing that, which is sort of something that's separate but together at the same time. So that's something else that I'm going to be working on as well, I think, and looking into a bit more how I can work with that. But yeah, so that's my plan, is to figure out a bit more detail about what boundaries I want to set up more. So yeah, if you have any questions about doing this, and if you want to join too, please do comment and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!